Welcome to Dai Headlines. I'm Anthony Carlisle. Thank you for joining us. Most residents in Sichuan Municipality's Lianhe village are farmers. Though the earthquake brought down their houses, the villagers remain confidently self-reliant, dividing their time between farming and the slow task of reconstruction.
Passing through fields and rubble, we arrive at this lady's home. Her family survived the 5.12 Sichuan earthquake, but her house did not. Thankfully, the lady is a skilled farmer and has been living off her own crops.
I still have a pot and stove. I've been cooking my own meals since the quake.
Like the lady, the rest of the villagers are mostly farmers and have been surviving on their own crops. The big hole in the roof of this pig pen is from the quake. No longer fit to keep pigs, the owner said they now use it to store garlic. Villagers claim they were mostly farming in the field when the quake occurred, so they didn't endure any casualties.
I couldn't react to it at the time. When I finally grabbed a hold of myself, the house had collapsed. Luckily, we weren't in the house then. We were out and yelling, "Run!"
Today, the lady goes to market and spends 10 cents to buy a squash. Making a meal in her roofless kitchen, she says although life is not as good as before, she remains optimistic.
This is my old kitchen. It had collapsed. My life is not as good as before, but it's okay.
Rebuilding the house with her own hands, the lady's tenacity shines through, reflecting the pragmatic virtue of these persevering farmers.
Many people were made homeless by the Sichuan earthquake, but they persevere in the face of adversity. In Sichuan Municipality's Lianhe village, residents are using materials from collapsed houses to build temporary shelters in their yards.
Ma Heyou is hammering away on his rooftop, using nails to secure a plastic shield and placing corrugated tiles neatly on top. His temporary house is complete.
It's more insulated, so it'll be better for the winter. I use the wood from my house for the roof. It's just old materials. The door plank is also insulated. It's more comfortable than living in tents.
Adding a touch of comfort, Ma brings in a TV, fan and other furniture. By reusing materials from collapsed houses, Ma only had to pay for laborers and other fees. His idea is well applauded by others.
It's good to use old materials and tiles to rebuild houses. The residents are all in financial difficulties, so this way they don't need to spend a lot of money.
This man is shifting out bricks from his backyard. After seeing Ma's successful attempt, he decides to follow suit. In fact, many villagers are beginning to rebuild their houses the same way.
After we construct the walls, we use a stud to support it. It's more secure. Also, in the summer monsoon season, water won't get in so easily.
However, many building materials are broken short, so handy villagers come up with another idea: wood plank to support the frame's top half. Residents say not only is it safer to have shorter brick pillars to prevent collapse, but using wood for the top half also makes it adequately ventilated.
Although Mianzhu Middle School in quake-hit Sichuan lost many of its buildings, including a prized ancient historical edifice, fortunately, all of its 3,000 students escaped unharmed. Schooling has been suspended and students have been relocated, but some still return to the school to look for their belongings.
Disregarding personal safety, 12th grader Jiang Xue rummages through piles of dusty textbooks to find his. Without books to study from, he feels out of his depth.
I'm short of some books. For us, schooling is out of the question now.
Despite the possibility of more aftershocks and further collapse of buildings, students have been returning to their classrooms in an attempt to salvage textbooks and belongings. This woman is doing the same for her child, who, along with many students from the region, has been arranged to continue study in neighboring provinces after the earthquake.
My child is really stressed and worries about his school books. He called me from Chongqing yesterday. He cried and said that he hasn't seen me for more than 3 weeks, and he's really homesick.
On the eve of Mianzhu Middle School's 100th anniversary, the massive earthquake struck and brought everything to a standstill. Apart from destroyed school buildings and facilities, Ziyan College, a 700-year-old historical heritage building in the school grounds, was also damaged beyond repair.
I got to the school gate and saw buildings caving in, sending thick clouds of dust into the air. I thought to myself, it's all over.
The school is now a mere ghost town. Teachers and students alike are sharing a deep sense of helplessness. For some, scavenging books from the wreckage provides momentary solace. No one can confidently say when the school will be up and running again, but survivors look on with faith and anticipation.